What's up, War Room? Welcome back. 4th of July week edition. Joe, Connor rocking the Badlands polo. Look at that. BadlandsTOJ.com. I heard you played your best round of golf ever today. Mostly thanks to the shirt, I'd say.
I felt like it. I only played 9 holes because I had to come home and do some work. And I just got back into golf like 5 or 6 weeks ago for the first time in years. When you move out of like the city area, it's kind of just naturally what you start to do again. And this is my one time a year I'm off a lot, and first time bringing out the Badlands polo, and I've never swung better in my life. So I'm just gonna fully blame it on that entirely.
I mean, you heard it here, folks. BadlandsTOJ.com. Go grab them. I think we have like 9 left, maybe. Also got some workout shorts, got the hats. White rope hat is back. So we got Connor wearing a different piece of merch every single week.
Literally, I said it.
Like, just trotting him out here.
When it's recording day, and it's kind of easy. I mean, I wear the hat quite a bit. But today I was like, I'm playing 9 holes. I'm not going to get changed when I get home on the stuff I'm on. And it's a good looking, it's comfortable Nike dry fit. Like, I'm going to be a walking advertisement for Badlands. I have no shame in that. I mean, we're putting out good stuff, so why not wear it?
High quality product, high quality logo.
Tell us what you want next, by the way. I know you sent out the survey.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, we want to know, like, the more ideas, what you guys want to buy and wear is what we want to make. We don't want to just make stuff to make stuff. So it's been a really, really fun thing that we've seen take off a little bit.
Yeah, if you haven't yet, please fill out the Google form. I bumped it around the Discord and on Patreon. Very helpful for us. Helps us know what to do more of, do less of. Gives us new ideas. So fill it out. It's been great. I think we've got like 100 plus responses so far. So keep them coming. Anyway, today we're going to talk defensive scheme and defensive X's and O's. We're going to nerd out a little bit. And then on the pod, we're going to do the same for offense. So defense, war room, pod is going to be offense. And then I have a bonus episode with Dalbin that's going to hit Thursday. So we're already locked and loaded for the week. Let's start here, CR. We're going into another year. Robert Saleh's defense, Jeff Ulbricht's defense, Aaron Whitecotton up front. This is a unit that's went from worst to one of the best in the NFL. You know, when Saleh came over, he brought a very distinct style of play and defense from San Francisco, inherited a lot of those schemes from when he was with Seattle and kind of came out of that tree. What's the elevator pitch way to describe what kind of defense the Jets play schematically most of the time? Like, how would you describe it to somebody?
Well, what's interesting with the Jets is they're pretty multiple in their coverages, right? I think they're a team that Saleh comes from a place where it's always about the rush. And he's been very open about this in his press conferences. It's about the front four. They like bringing it in waves. So they feel like their baseline belief and principle is that you're going to play a front four, and for that front four in this passing era to be effective, you kind of want 2 different waves of it, because if you rotate guys in today's NFL, not only does it give you a little bit of injury protection to have those 2 waves, but I mean, stamina is a real thing. Anybody that's ever played a sport in their life, it trickles all the way to the actual pros. Just because these guys are pros doesn't mean that they're at their 100% self for 100% of the snaps they play. So the thought process is the most effectiveness is to have rotations up front. When you look on the back end, and this is what I think the Jets have done a marvelous job of in this era, is not only the personnel that they've brought in to play on the back end, notably the corners, the safety. We've talked about this a lot. The safety room leaves a lot to be desired, but in this system and the talent they have, both at linebacker, up front, and a corner, like, it's kind of where, you know, there's got to be some kind of, you don't want to say weakness, but area where you're not allocating premium assets to money, picks, all that kind of stuff. When you look at the Jets in terms of coverages, they are a team that they throw everything at you. I mean, they really, really do. I was kind of playing around with some numbers this morning. They're a team that you'll see them play cover 1. You'll see them play cover 3. You'll see a lot of quarters. And you'll see it not evenly split across the board, but close. It's not like they play quarters 70% of the time and then sprinkle things in. What we've talked about for a long time with the Jets is, this is one that I checked on from last year because we saw it start to develop in 2022. In 2023, on third downs, they went to cover one, which makes them a little bit more of an aggressive defense, right? It's putting guys in man coverage situations. A lot of times they're bringing pressure with it. It's when they like to blitz guys like Quincy Williams over 41% of the time. So when you're, right, that's like pretty jarring when you think about, like, if the Jets have you in third down, and in a second, I'll even filter it to kind of do distance because I'm kind of curious. Let's say third down, and we'll go like 7 to 10. They're playing cover one at you, cover one or cover zero at you almost 45% of the time. So like if you're in a passing down on third down, the Jets trust their talent, which is Sauce Gardner, DJ Reed, Michael Carter, to play in man coverage and for everybody up front to get home. So, but on earlier downs, they can rotate safeties, they can sit in zone, they can flood the field. And this is where the Jets are kind of an interesting spot, right? Because they, in a way, playing that way, especially like Al Woods was the cover up for this last year. But this year, I don't really think they have a guy like that. We'll see what like Lecky Fotu can do and Javon Kinlaw. The Jets are basically challenging teams to run at them on early downs. They'll play a lot of cover three, a lot of quarters. They'll have not a light front, but a lighter front. This puts a lot of pressure on Quinnen Williams, where Quinnen Williams can't be sack hunting all the time. Like Quinnen Williams is going to have to take on double teams and kind of redirect the run a different direction. Jermaine Johnson isn't just allowed to pin his ears back and go 100 miles an hour in a juicy one-on-one matchup on an island with a right tackle. Like he's going to have to set a hard edge against the best tackle that team's got. So, and this is whether you agree or not, and I most of the time really didn't agree with this in full. The Jets were never enamored with Bryce Huff because they felt like he wasn't an impactful player in those scenarios. They felt like on third downs, this is like kind of the dream for Will McDonald, although they used the first round pick on him, so it's valued a lot. They want that kind of lighter rusher that could pin his ears back and just cause hell on those passing downs. But they value Jermaine. They were going to take him 10th, right? They're going to trade up in the top 20 to get him, like in a different way because he could play every down. They paid Quinnen Williams a ton of money because he could play every down and not really give up a lot as a rusher on the passing down. So, yeah, the elevator pitch for the Jets is they believe they can rush with their front four, but they have so much faith in their personnel on the back end that they could throw any coverage at you that is giving them an advantageous situation based on the situation. And a lot of teams in the NFL, like in this league, can't do that. It's a league where the rules are kind of geared towards the offense has the advantage. The passing attack with the great quarterbacks has the advantage. But the Jets' counterpunch to that is our front four is better than your protection, and our cover guys are almost equal with your throwing, where we feel like we're going to get off the field on third down, and Jets get off the field on third down a lot.
We have now made it to July. Make sure you sign up for Underdog Fantasy using promo code Badlands. 50% deposit match up to $250. We've banked 10 best ball drafts. It's now time to ramp it up. It is truly fantasy season. Look out for some of the leagues we're going to be launching. Study up for your best ball pick'ems. We're also going to have some guests on to break down some fantasy. CR, I know you're deep into the fantasy world now. How are we feeling going into this year?
Oh, it's going to be awesome. Explosive rookie class. Sifting through these running backs is its own adventure right now. I've seen so many different draft strategies. We've had a lot of fun with a lot of different best ball drafts, especially with the Badlands community, which is the best part of all of it. So it's going to be an awesome year. I'm already kind of getting the bug for some higher stakes leagues.
All right. Sign up Underdog Fantasy with promo code Badlands for a 50% deposit match up to $250. Let's go even simpler before we talk about some of the different tendencies that they started to show last year. Cover three, quarters, cover one. Give a very top line differentiation of how those coverage schemes work. And when the Jets are in cover one, who their one high safety is likely to be predominantly this year. So what is like, someone hears that, like, what is the difference between those three cover schemes?
So cover one, man coverage across the board. And why it's called cover one is there's a single high safety. You have one safety on the back end. So like, think about how the big, not theory, it's literally happening across the league the last 2 years is that everybody's sitting in two deep safeties because they want to take away the explosive play. It gives their corners help over the top, kind of forces you to, try to peak Tom Brady it where you're slicing and dicing through, the 5 to 8 yard kind of range. And the Jets, I mean, they run a lot of cover one. This year, you would think Tony Adams or Ashton Davis would be that single high safety. Chuck Clark would be the downhill safety in that scenario. And then you could ask Sauce Gardner, we'll see if he travels. They play sides traditionally. So DJ Reed will play a side, Sauce Gardner will play a side, Michael Carter will play the slot and travel if it's a motion man. So that's cover one. I mean, it's really like nuts and bolts, like man-on-man corners, one safety over the top. So that safety kind of has to read who he's got to help the deep play on. But when your front four is so good, the quarterback can't get to that read that's developing to the side away from the safety, like the play side. So then you look at cover three. The Jets don't really run cover two necessarily, like where they're sitting just in, two deep safeties, zone principles applied at the corners. You can kind of change up like the way you match. Cover three is typically just 3 deep, 4 like zone dropping, 3 deep, and there's 4 under. So that's like a true zone defense. The NFL has gotten away from cover 3. There was a time for a while, and this is where Salah's roots were, where Seattle was like the king cover 3 team, and they were going to, Super Bowl with that. But they had some of the best personnel we've ever seen with that. And then teams kind of figured it out because there's a lot of holes in cover 3, where if you could see it, you kind of know where to throw. It's not a very aggressive defense, and the aggressive defenses in this era, like very, very recent era, are kind of what have success. So yeah, those 3 playing deep, it's been exploited. Quarters, I can't even explain this in a simple one because I think it's become the most quarters, and I'll include cover 6 in this because they also play cover 6 12% of the time, and they play quarters 26% of the time. I include cover 6, cover 8, and quarters in the same group. And why I do that is